It's Jake. Welcome back. Today I'm here with Loui, and we're going to be talking about the questioning experience. How was your experience first questioning your sexual identity?
I would say that I was mostly confused. I identify as bisexual, and when you're bisexual, you're attracted to both boys and girls.
Yeah.
And with that, I didn't know that there was such a thing as a bisexual at my age. I was feeling these when I was 13, which was 1962, 63. And that term hadn't even entered my mind. I knew what a lesbian was. I said, well, I can't be a lesbian because I like boys. Can't be straight because I like girls. I don't know what I am. Maybe somehow I'll figure it out. So that was my idea. Questioning was not quite what I was doing. I was just confused, and I figured that it would all work itself out when I got older.
How did you feel when you realized you were bisexual?
Well, I found it out by coming across a book. I was in my mid-20s, called By Any Other Name, and it was the first time that I read articles, pieces written by bisexuals, and I said, it was like a door opening, because I said, oh, this is what I am. I didn't know that such a thing exists, so it was sort of like meeting my family, as if I had been adopted, and I met my birth family, and all of a sudden all the pieces started to fall into place, and I went, oh, now I get it. Now I know why I'm attracted to girls and I'm attracted to boys. Now I get it, because I had a name for what I was doing.
Yeah. Did you talk to anyone when you realized that you were bisexual?
I had one close friend at the time, and I thought she might be bisexual. She wasn't, but I thought she might be. She was sympathetic and understanding. I would have to say that was the first person, and then after that I was reluctant to talk to people because I wanted to meet other bisexuals, and I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just come out to random people or ask random people what they thought. I wanted to talk to other bisexuals, but I didn't know any, and I didn't know how to contact them.
When do you think you first started questioning?
I think I mentioned I was probably 12 or 13 when it dawned on me that I was feeling for girls what I felt for boys, and I was attracted to this boy in my class, and I was attracted to this girl in my class, and they felt pretty much the same to me, and I knew that what I was feeling for girls was different from what my girlfriends talked about.
Yeah.
I wanted to kiss and hug and cuddle, and they wanted to talk about boys, which was clearly different.
What made you first start questioning was you noticing that you didn't think of girls the same way that your other girlfriends did?
Right.
Yeah. How was it realizing that you didn't think of them the same way as them? How did you did you ever talk to them about it? Or?
No, I didn't talk to them. I think most gay people have a kind of a sense at an early age that being different is not okay.
Yeah.
And in those days, it was even more weird and more taboo and more scary. So all I was doing was, if we had a slumber party, and I was hanging out with a bunch of my girlfriends, and they would be talking about boys and the dance and dance steps and what they saw on TV and this hot new boy singer on TV. Whatever it was stuff that I kind of, in my mind, I'm seeing how different I am from them, because that's not what I wanted to talk about. That's not how I saw myself. I wasn't interested in boys the same way that they were, and I was interested in girls not the same way either. So I just felt kind of in limbo, like I don't belong in either one of these groups. I can't hang out with the boys because they're not going to accept me as a boy. And I can't hang out with these girls because they're just talking about a whole different bunch of stuff that's not of any interest to me. I wasn't into, I think my first crush was on a girl singer, a female singer. And I thought, wow, I want to be like Karen Carpenter. I think she's really cool. So the experience was not, again, because I was bisexual and I was kind of in limbo, and I didn't have anybody to talk to, I just said, I don't belong here, I don't belong here, I don't know where I belong, but I'm going to muddle on through, because eventually I have confidence that someplace my body will decide, my brain will decide. Maybe it's part of growing up that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd already been talked to about menstruation, and I said, "Oh, why didn't they tell me about this earlier? Why are they just now telling me about this?"
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe this is another thing they just didn't tell me about, that lots of people feel this way, but sometime at the magical age of 18, it will all fall into place, or some switch will be pulled, or clicked, or thrown, and I'll forget these feelings and go with those. I just imagine that the future would answer my problems.
That's cool, because I hear a lot about people, like, if they realize something's up, then they want to know what they are immediately, and they, like, search for it, or may get distressed when they can't find out, and I find that to be kind of, it's not the best thing in the world. And it's really nice.
Oh, the stress is I'm sure the stress is very terrible.
Yeah, so it's really great that you didn't go through that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went through questioning, but I didn't care if I had answers because I didn't think there were any, or I figured the answers would eventually come. So I was patient.
Yeah, I think like that's a really good example to set for people, because when I first started questioning, I was like, what? I don't know what's going on. When I first started questioning, I was like, what? I don't know what's going on. Oh my God. And so if I had that mindset, I feel like I would have felt a lot better about myself. Yeah.
We are all different.
It's true. Did you ever do anything to try to figure yourself out, or were you totally just like,
well, I oddly enough, there's a gay, lesbian, bisexual center where I live in San Jose. And I knew it existed, and I went there on a couple of occasions to the bookstore, not to go in the rest of the place, but there was a bookstore there, and that's where I ran into this book. And I went there specifically to get a present for someone else, a woman that I knew was a lesbian, and I wanted to find her a book. And I went there, and that's where I saw this book, By Any Other Name, and I picked it up, and I started reading it, and that was like, if I hadn't found that book, I don't know what would have happened, if I eventually figured it out, or if this friend that I had that was a lesbian, I kept thinking, but I can't be a lesbian, because I don't know whether I was married at that time, or whether I was living with some guy, or what, but I kept thinking to myself, I can't be a lesbian if I'm living with this guy, so I guess the feelings that I'm having for this girlfriend are just, they're not valid, because I'm with a guy. I've made my choice, I'm going to do this instead. But finding that book opened up the possibility that I could have either feeling and either relationship. Yes, I had to choose one at a time, but from there on, I sort of became what they call a serial monogamist. I picked partners, but I didn't always pick boys or girls. I just said, I fell in love with a person, not their genitalia.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with, I still liked the way they looked, but I wasn't needing a certain body type, because I fell in love with the person and said, okay, I'll be with this person for a while. So that's kind of what it was like.
Nice.
So I was lucky I found that book when I did. Maybe I would have figured it out some other way, but as it happened, that was my path.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you would like to say?
I'm still a member of that lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, queer, whatever. It has a very long bunch of alphabet letters after it.
Oh, yeah.
Down in San Jose, and I have met a lot of really cool people through it. I don't work there anymore, but I did volunteer for a while. I most admire the people that work on the crisis hotline, because I can't do it myself, but they are the most amazing people, that they talk down adults and teenagers, all kinds of kids, people that call in, and now it's on the internet as well. But the callers that call in that want help, and these people on the hotline are just so amazing. If there had been such a thing in my day, I don't know that I would have been desperate enough to call them, but I might have talked to them just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
It was it's a pretty amazing, the internet serves so much of that now, but not very long after that, there were, the hotline was set up and they were looking for volunteers, and I said, I don't even have any answers. I can't help them. But the people that did have answers and have suggestions and have a hand they could reach out to say, here we are, take my hand, I'll help you through this. I have so much respect for them and their calling that makes it possible for people to be safe in their life. It's pretty amazing.
Those are all the questions I have for today. Hope you enjoyed.
Bye.